Hey boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. It's time for part 3 of our fundamental strumming series for beginners and low-level intermediates. So let's crush this together. Let's practice. Hey everyone, Paul Zagorski here, PZ Guitar, your virtual practice partner. This is where beginners and low-level intermediates, where we practice and then we do some more practice. Because practice is vital. You know, growing up playing tennis, you know, that was the key. It wasn't just playing sets and playing matches, it was drilling. It was working on your fundamentals, so that way all those things, you can do them without even thinking. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get your strumming hand, because strumming can be hard for a beginner. It can be hard because I'm asking to do a whole bunch of different things at the same time. I'm asking this hand to go up and down. I'm asking, you know, to make certain minute changes on this hand, and I have to do it in time. It's, you know, like I had said in the first session, it's kind of like rubbing your head, patting your stomach, standing on one foot, counting backwards from 100 by sevens. You know, there's a lot of things going on. But if you break it down little by little, and isolate one thing until that becomes natural, and then we add on a little bit more, and you string these skills together, the world just opens up. So today is going to be the next chord in our cage series. We did the C's and the A's. Now it's going to be a G. Now the G chord, there's a couple of different versions of the G. There's the rock and roll G chord. 3, 2, open, open, 3, 3. You can take off your pinky and it becomes 3, 2, open, 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 3. Or you could use the pinky. Whichever one that you like to do. I would actually recommend each time that you do this particular lesson, do a different G chord. Do a different G. Get used to using your pinky. Get used to using, what I learned when I started off in classical guitar. This was the G chord that I started off with. You know, but now a lot of times I will use this particular one with the pinky, because many times it's followed by a C chord, and the transition between the two are very easy. There are times when I would be going between a G chord and a D chord, and if that's the case, I'll use the rock and roll G, the 4-fingered G, because I already have an anchor finger. It's all about thinking smart and thinking ahead. That's what experience and this muscle memory does, is that, gee, I don't have to work that hard. I can, if I use this G chord, going to the D is going to be easy, okay. Or if I'm going to use this G chord, going to the C would be easy. Whatever it may be. But today, we are not going to confuse ourselves with anything. It's the same 4 strumming patterns. This time it's with the open G chord. You ready? Here's a recap. The first strumming pattern is all down strums. So let's get ready to go. And you know what? It kind of feels different when it's a different chord. Even though it's the same strum, it feels familiar. It feels like it's an old friend. And that's what I want these strumming patterns to become for you, as an old friend. So here we go. Pattern number 1. Okay, take your fingers off the fretboard, give your fingers a break, especially that pinky, which may be underutilized, so it may be barking at you right now. So give your fingers a little break. Let's get ready for lab number 2. Hey, lab number 2, here we are. That didn't take long. Remember, lab number 2 is going to be, we're going to do the miss on B3. So just as a recap, 1, 2, miss, 4. You keep your hand moving despite that miss. You know, this is your clock. This is your physical clock. Is this up and down? So you ready? Here we go. So you ready? Here we go. Here's our thing. You ready? Let's go. Miss. 1, 2, miss. 4. Miss. 4. 1, 2, 4. Okay, give your fingers a well-deserved break again. And right now, if you're finding these lessons to be useful, these practice sessions to be useful, give a like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so that way you get notified. I post all the time. And, so let's now do lab number 3. Lab number 3 is coming up. So lab number 3, if you remember, we are going to start adding upstrums. Okay, you remember those? I'm sure you do. Here we go. Let's get right to it. Hey, that's fantastic. Let's go give our fingers a little break again. Keep your hand moving. It's imperative. This is your clock. This is your clock. Is this hand moving up and down? Okay, we're not changing chords here today, but it does feel different. I mean, the G chord feels different than the C chord. It feels different than the A chord because you're different formation on your hand here. So it's familiar, but it's not exactly the same. And that's important. We build our skill set. So let's go to lab number 4. Lab number 4. We're going to miss beat 3. Okay, here's a recap of what that sounds like. Remember this? That's one of the kings of strum patterns. Okay, key of G. Let's go, ready to do this. Here we go. fantastic. Give your fingers a well-deserved break. And I'll see you in the tips and the recap and the Chuck Norris quote of the day. Stick around. Okay, the Chuck Norris quote of the day. Let's get this through. Here we go. Oh, boy. As a math guy, I love this. In the video description, I have links to Amazon for Chuck Norris gifts. Root around, see if there's something that you might like. There's such clever stuff there. There's a lot of good stuff. Chuck Norris counted to infinity twice. Man, that is dedication. I hope you have the same kind of dedication to these lessons that we're doing here and these practice sessions. And that, you know what? Before you know it, you'll have counted to infinity twice yourself with these strumming patterns. Your strumming pattern, up and down, up and down. That is the key to the strumming, is keep your hand moving. This is your clock. This is like, you know, the locomotive. Chugga, 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 chugga. This is your timekeeper. This is how you keep things smooth and accurate and sounding good. Practice number 1, we just muted the strings. Practice 2, we did the C. Next, then we did the A. And today we did G. So we've got E and the D left to go. Okay? So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so that way you get notified, because I post all the time. Leave a comment either about the Chuck Norris quotes of the day, what your favorite one is. I'd love to hear it. I really would. I think they're hysterical. Or leave a comment as to what you need help with on these lessons. I'll make a lesson, or I'll answer the question in the chat, or someone else might answer the question. I mean, this is how you build a community here. Because I want to practice with you, and I tell you what, practicing with someone is a whole lot better than practicing by yourself. You know, practicing guitar is fine, but it's always better when you have someone else who you can do things with, and you can follow their lead, or you could lead them. So right now, when you are practicing this, do lab 1. If lab 1 is solid, go on to lab 2. If lab 2 is solid, go back to lab 3, go up to lab 3. If lab 3 is a little shaky, go back to the beginning of lab 3 and do it again until it becomes second nature, that you don't have to think about it. And you don't have to think about it about making errors. You can think about it and do it right and do it well. Then go on to lab 4. When that's done, do a different lab. Do a different practice session. You know, go through this series, this fundamental strumming series, because at the end, what we're going to do is we're going to start stringing these chords together on these 4 strumming patterns. But you probably figured that out already. So for right now, this was practice session 4. This is the C-A-G. So this is practice session number 4 of the series. We have the E and the D to go, and then we'll string them all together. So we still have a little bit more to go. I urge you to stick through this, and it will pay dividends later on. If you are having a problem with strumming, this will help. I promise you, it will help. It's because the key is this. This is the key, because otherwise you'll stop and just keep your hand moving. That's the whole key. I say it probably so often that you don't even hear it anymore, but it's the truth. So until then, keep strumming and keep practicing. I'll see you real soon.